And do these emotions, either, brand love, brand hate, does this develop slowly over time? Can it flip the switch from love to hate overnight? What tends to be the relationship?
Yeah. Some relationships take a long time. There's a courtship-like period, I think, where people have to get used to the brand and to see, it's usually a complex thing, so they have to see all its different attributes, all its characteristics, all the things that it can lead to, that can help me achieve or prevent me from being attacked or being vulnerable. And that takes a long time to learn sometimes, for some brands. But other brands are simple. They're more functional, more utilitarian. They help me do one thing. And then I get used to that after a while, and I love it, but I love it for what it does for me, not because I love it per se. So that's a different level. And so sometimes it happens quickly.
Is there such a thing as love at first sight?
Yeah, I think so. If people are have needs that aren't being met and they're vulnerable or lonely, and a brand comes along or an advertisement for a brand that's done really effectively in terms of the players in the ad itself, it can really touch a chord and and then connect with that vulnerability or that loss or weakness that we may have, and then all of a sudden it's something I love, and it gets kind of ingrained, and months and years later we think back in that experience of how it first arose, and it becomes part of the myth of love.
Can people love or hate a brand for no reason at all, or at least no reason they can come up with?
Yeah, I think there are many ways for that. If I see that a group that I belong to, that's important to me, and my self-image is defined through that group in part, and I can see that by expressing a hate for a particular object or love would make me more endeared to that group or more part of it, more accepted by that. I think I might end up saying I hate something that I might not even hate, and just using that as a way of expressing things to become accepted and fit into the group. I'm sure there are other aspects of hating things too that are based on the connections between a brand and things that we dislike, and that kind of relationship between the brand and the dislike of the brand, or the connection to some other person or issue, country, value, movie. That connection itself, in terms of our own self-definition, can be used to develop or prevent hate from happening.
So beyond consumers' interactions with the brand and through their social groups' interaction with the brands, how can a marketer shape those emotions and perhaps turn indifference into love, or turn like into love? What is there something the marketer can do?
Well, there are many techniques that can be done. Some of it is within advertisements itself, is to tell a story, a slice of life, some experience, that everyday experience, but that we don't think about a lot, that makes us feel really proud or happy or elevated, and then make that connection in the ad with the brand, that by buying or owning or using this brand, I'm actually being able to accomplish these other kind of feelings that I have for other people or for other things. That would be a common way of doing it. It's a lot of ads and emotions are a lot different when you're focusing on just taste of something. Or what something can do in a utilitarian sense. But brand love is usually more about a relationship between the person and that brand, and how they feel about it, and how that brand fits in with their life and their other relationships. If we can show that vicariously in an advertisement, then people learn from that, and that becomes a lesson to them, or they're looking out for that in the future, for that happening, and then they're saying, "Oh yeah, I felt that before when I watched somebody else in the advertisement feel that, but now I feel it." And the advertisers need to create those kind of situations. There are probably other tactics as well. that they can educate us in the ad by having two people talking with each other and one saying why they love this particular brand in these kind of ways or what it has done for them in an emotional sense. So a lot of the dramatic kind of things that we see in movies can be used and need to be developed. It takes a little bit longer advertisement than other kinds of functional ads, but advertisements that bring in emotional content and feelings and make it more human and personal. If we don't do that, it's going to be very hard to develop a love kind of reaction. You want to stimulate word of mouth. So in some ads that show people passing on this new product or brand that they've just experienced and why, and they're talking about it or sharing it with somebody else, and then they're sharing it with someone else. That's another tactic of promoting love and promoting the dissemination of it.
Is it possible for a person to have only so much room in their heart, so to speak, for brand love? Can they have love for 100 brands, or is it, you can only really love one or two brands?
From a time point of view, there isn't enough time in the world to have too much love, and so there's an inherent conflict and trade-off there. But part of love has a dimension of exclusivity. You have a special relationship with this brand, and maybe that's a brand that not everybody else loves. But usually it's an exclusive kind of relationship that you feel you have, even though in the back of your mind that that other people love it too, but it has special meaning to you.